A few hours ago, NBA 2K22 was released on both current gen and next gen systems. Now, one thing you'll quickly realize while downloading is that you won't be able to enjoy the full in-game experience until your game is 100% installed. Luckily for you, in this video, I'll be going over how to make that installation process go by much faster. It's also worth noting that these methods will work regardless of which console you're on. Now, the first course of action for speeding up the installation process is simply closing your game application. Now, like I mentioned earlier, even though I'm on the PS5, these methods will work on any console. I'll make sure to leave step-by-step instructions for each of these tips in the description below, so that way you can follow along on whichever console you're on. Now, although closing your application means you won't be able to enjoy some of those in-game features like 2KU for example, this will improve your download speeds and you'll be able to play the full game a lot sooner. So step 1, close your application. The second thing you can do to speed up the installation process is to make sure you're only downloading one item at a time. Regardless of which console you're on, it's best to avoid downloading multiple items simultaneously. This includes games, applications, and even updates. So if I go to my downloads, you'll see that I'm currently downloading a few different items, which is not what we want. Now, you can either pause whichever ones you're not currently using, or you can simply delete them, and then later on you can always go back and download them again. So step 2, make sure NBA 2K22 is the only thing you're currently downloading. While we're on the download screen, if your download is stuck on a certain percentage, you can pause the download for a brief moment, click on it again, and then select resume. This should quickly fix any freezes you may run into when downloading your game. The third thing you can do to try to increase your download speeds is to use an Ethernet cable if possible. If your console is close enough to your router, plug one end of an Ethernet cable into your router and the other end into the back of your console. Then, in your network settings, make sure your connection is listed as wired and not wireless. This will give you a faster connection to the internet and will make your game download much quicker. Now, if your router is in another room and you're not able to directly connect to it with an Ethernet cable, don't worry, you can still improve your download speeds with the other methods I have. Just know that a wired connection will download games much faster than a wireless one. So step 3, use an Ethernet cable if possible. Another thing you can do to make your game download faster is to change your DNS server settings. Again, check the description for step-by-step instructions on how to do this for your console. Also in the description will be a list of some of the best DNS servers for increasing download speeds. The one that always works for me is Google's public DNS server, which is 8.8.8.8 for primary and 8.8.4.4 for secondary. This gives me the most optimal internet performance whenever I'm downloading games, but feel free to experiment with some of the other servers in the description. So step 4, change your DNS server settings. Now, if none of those methods work for you, the last tip I have is to finish downloading the game in rest mode. Rest mode is a low power state where your console is basically in standby, but it can still perform certain tasks such as downloading applications and updates. This will be a last resort that should help if none of the above methods seem to work for you. So finally, step 5, if all else fails, finish downloading the game in rest mode. Now, if you follow these methods, your NBA 2K22 won't take nearly as long to finish downloading and you'll be able to play much sooner. Now, if this video was able to help you out at all, please make sure to leave a like on the video and also subscribe and turn on post notifications to know exactly when the next video is uploaded. All right, I'm out.